How to Find Love in Middle Life, a guide to finding love for the midlife woman. Module 3, The Changing Face of Love, Part 2. In the last part, we examined the fact that there are 3 phases of love, which I call the seasons of love. We're now going to look at those in a little more detail. So firstly, we have romantic love. This is the kind of love that inspires poets, songwriters, playwrights, and novelists. Singers never tire singing about it, and we never tire of listening to them. This kind of love has a special quality that can lighten and brighten our lives and bathe everything in a lovely glowing light. But what is it? Not an easy question to answer, and there are many songs which ask this question. We can talk about the feelings it generates all day long, but that brings us no closer to explaining what it is. For the moment, let us look briefly at when and how we encounter romantic love. The usual pattern is that children live with their parents until such time as they start to feel the need to assert themselves and ultimately break away. Even before that, they start to experience feelings of incompleteness and look for some source to fill that gap. That usually means looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend among their peers. These are usually casual and innocent relationships kept up more for appearances and convenience than serious love. Then the love comes knocking. This is the love that comes unbidden and will not be denied. It sweeps one or both partners off their feet. They experience disturbing feelings and emotions, and yet it's so exhilarating they would not have it any other way. This is probably the most dramatic experience of most people's lives. Nearly all the references in songs, plays, and books, and films and opera are concerned with this kind of love. Once it is experienced, it is never forgotten. However, it has some side effects. First, it blocks off some of the normal perceptions, judgments, and appetites. The individual becomes obsessed with the object of their affection. It focuses so much attention on the other person that nearly everything else is blocked out. Second, the wonderful feelings that come with romantic love bring unreasonable optimism. Not only is everything wonderful now, but it is expected that everything will remain wonderful in the future. Third, sexual inhibition and inexperience can easily be overcome in this state. If a couple has privacy and opportunity, it is very difficult for them not to indulge in sexual intercourse. However, this heightened romantic love state moves on. Usually the result is marriage and/or a baby, as nature urges towards its agenda of procreation. I have heard that this romantic love described as nature's ruthless glue that puts a couple together with the prime intention of procreation, and this is for the survival of the species. Even if they're not formally tied by marriage, usually both man and woman will accept responsibility for the emerging family. Despite the bad press most men get these days, nature has built paternal instincts into men. And most men start out, at least, with a strong desire to do their bit in providing a loving and supportive environment for their children. However, with that responsibility comes long hours of arduous work. This is not just the work of looking after the child or children. A home has to be created, and income has to be earned to pay the costs. Nearly always this involves both parents working in order to earn enough to cover all the expenses. Human programming is such that these burdens are normally accepted quite readily by both parties. I characterize the phase of working love as being like 2 horses pulling a plough or a cart. All their attention is on pulling forward, with building a home, rearing their children, earning the money to pay for both. They rarely turn their heads to look at each other. They may even blink at themselves to concentrate better on the jobs which have to be done. This daily stress and strain on working parents can lead to friction. They can become short-tempered and irritable with each other. The constant demands of family, home, and work can also lead to exhaustion. The couple can become strangers, even taking each other for granted. Even worse, they are too busy or tired to remember to meet each other's needs. It is vital, therefore, that a couple find ways to spend some time on their own so they can renew their relationship and keep their love fresh. By the nature of children growing up, the phase of working love lasts for around 20 years from the birth of the last child. This is a long time, and regrettably, a high proportion of relationships do not survive that long. The love that brought the couple together needs to be fed regularly to keep it alive. This is the end of part 2 of The Changing Face of Love.